Okay.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Shaman Talk with Tegan. Tarot with Tegan is where you will find me on Instagram and Facebook. And today I have a special guest. Her name is Joyce. Joyce, thank you for being here.
Hello.
Okay, so I put out there a little while ago that I wanted to talk to someone who kind of either grew up or lived in at some point in like a haunted house, and that would be you.
It would. It would. I've had three ghosts, and one we're not sure what it was.
Ah, okay.
That was the one you got introduced to.
Yes. We will we'll,
Yes.
we'll definitely get into that. But I want to
Yeah.
back up a little bit. So, I won't necessarily give away where you live to random people possibly. But you
That's
guys
okay.
you built the house, is that correct?
We did. We had the house built, oh goodness, 35 years ago.
Okay.
So, and it was shortly after that. I'm trying to think. Well, maybe within like 4 years after that is where the first sighting happened.
Okay.
And yeah, that was one of my boys, and he would come to me and I'd shut the lights off at night, and he would freak out and he'd run and he'd turn the lights on and then he'd open his closet doors. And this went on for a while, and he wouldn't say anything to me until he told me there was a soldier sitting in his closet.
My gosh.
I'm like, what? So, I mean, he was petrified, petrified. So this went on for quite a while, and I would say about a year and a half. And then I started seeing strange things in the house, things move, and I'm like, okay. And then I got pregnant with my daughter, and when she was born, I would every morning find him in her crib.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, and he would lay in her crib all the time, and finally I'm like, "What are you doing?" And he would tell me he had to protect his little sister.
Oh.
And then we saw a woman, and my older son saw this woman as well. And the way they described the dress, I'm like, okay, there's got to be some connection here, because all of a sudden this guy is gone and here's this woman.
Okay.
Then he really started having issues and wouldn't let my daughter go anywhere because he saw a little girl. So we kind of figured mom was looking for the little girl.
Okay.
And we think once, she found her, but I went into like the past, like soldiers, Confederate soldiers type of things. And he pointed out, he's like, that's it.
Wow.
So it was a soldier. And then when they described what the woman looked like, it was something like to the effect of, oh, she's got a petticoat. And I'm like, no. So then I pulled that up, and it ended up being like pioneer,
Oh, okay.
like a pioneer woman, and the little girl as well. We'd go through the house and I'd bless the house and I'd say, we have to find your daughter. And then all of a sudden there was this weird kind of feeling for me,
Hmm.
feeling in the house. And then kind of like when you get, like when you're scared and you get that feeling,
Sure.
like that tingling feeling in your
Okay.
body.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was it. That was it. She must have found the daughter, but
Wow.
I made everybody leave the house,
Hmm.
and I would walk through the house and say, we're a loving family, find your daughter. So I went through the whole thing through each room,
Oh, wow. Okay.
because I didn't know,
Sure. Hmm.
and and then they were gone, and I thought, oh, okay. Well, then a friend of mine who lives a block away, she's like, you're never going to believe this. I saw a ghost in house. So
Really?
she kind of described it. So apparently they apparently went that way,
Oh my gosh, that's
you
crazy.
know, and headed towards, yeah. And so I thought, you know what, I got to look this up. Well, not far from here, and possibly even like the outskirts of the neighborhood I live in,
Mhm.
there was down the road there was a Indian reservation that I know of,
Mhm.
and there were pioneers or in this area. So I don't know,
Sure.
but
Yeah.
that lasted probably over a year of this going back and forth,
Interesting.
with the little
I
girl and the man and the
Okay.
female or the mom.
And it is interesting that it took
Yeah.
a couple years after you built the house, so I'm wondering if, like, they were almost playing hopscotch. People would, like, get their house blessed, and they're like, "Well, gotta move in
Yeah.
somewhere else," or something. That's kinda wild.
Well, and the girl that told me that she saw it said that one of her neighbors thought they saw a ghost in the house.
Oh my gosh.
Hmm.
Very
So
interesting.
yeah, maybe they're hopping from house to house.
Well, and I
Yeah.
guess that's when you know
That
to
actually was
go ahead.
no, I was gonna say that's not the first time. The first one actually was, I say it was a demon.
Mm,
It was dusk maybe when
mhm.
we first built the house.
Okay.
We had only been here a couple weeks. And my son and I were sitting there, and our couch was against the window. And I felt something, and I turned and looked, and I just screamed. It was like a black figure that you could see through with two very bright red eyes.
Ooh.
That was it. Never saw or did anything. And then the next was with the first soldier and then the mother and the daughter. But nothing, well, one since, the one that you know about.
Mhm. Interesting.
So, but we've blessed the house. We blessed the house and we saged the house. Yeah.
Very
Hmm.
interesting. That's when you
But they
know
were
to
never,
no, that's when you know too, like with the if they kind of move around or they leave or something that it's probably having to do with the land, and for you, you had to kind of know
oh,
that too because you built the house. So it wasn't like, oh, someone was in the house before you doing crazy things. So it's always just interesting
right,
to me,
right.
kind of like almost the origin and where it could have possibly started or whatever. And as a practitioner now, um, I'm just wondering if those spirits have finally found peace or not. Because now I want to go back and like canvas the area and see if they need actual help moving on. But you
Yeah.
never know.
I haven't. Okay, so I'm trying to think. My son he had to have been less than 10.
Okay.
So the, well, we've been in the house 35 years. So the first sighting was like within weeks, maybe a month of us moving in. And then the next one was when he saw the soldier in the closet. Um, so that had to have been, if he was 10, that had to have been somewhere between 25 and 27 years ago.
Okay.
And then the woman was the year later. And then well, when was that with you?
Okay, so I came
That
over
was
specifically to check your house out. I would say, because I'd say I was
right,
mid training. I wasn't done with my training yet, which was my own mistake because I didn't know how to quite properly
right.
protect my energy. But I was there, let me think, like 3 or 4 years ago now, I think. And I definitely picked up on some stuff in that one room specifically, and in your basement. And I do remember
Mm-hmm.
encountering a woman though. Um,
That was funny because when you said that, my husband and I just kind of looked at each other. You had made a statement, something about, oh, there is this big, like a wingback chair, and you hadn't gone to that area of my house yet.
okay.
And you said you saw the woman sitting in the chair.
Mhm.
And it's funny, my husband and I were just talking about that yesterday.
Really?
And yeah, we were talking about that. And you described my mother in law to a T.
I don't
And
even
the
remember.
chair,
Okay.
Yeah, the chair that you saw the woman sitting in was her favorite chair at her house, and we knew that. So we took that when she passed away. And
Oh,
she always said, she goes, I love your house. It's so comfortable. I love being in your backyard and just sitting there. It's very peaceful. So apparently she's been here too. So
yeah. Probably coming
yeah,
popping
but that
in
was my
for a visit.
mother-in-law.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the one that you came because I asked you to come because I woke up in the middle of the night
Mhm.
and there was a black shadow um at the foot of my bed, a figure.
Mhm.
You could definitely see it was a person. And as soon as I turned the light on, the person was gone. But how I felt in the house was very uneasy, until you came.
Yes, until I
And
came.
then, yes, sorry about that. They
No,
kind of
no,
liked
that's the
you.
thing. Like I was saying, this was I wasn't even done
Yeah.
with my training yet, but I just felt like I had all these new abilities kind of opening up and I was like, I just want to see what I can sense. And obviously overall I was sensing stuff, right? And whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
did not protect myself
Yeah.
properly.
Yeah.
So just to explain to anyone who's listening, what ended
Yeah.
up happening is I just went in too open and too just here I go, here goes nothing, which I would not do now. But and I ended up whatever that was attached
Yeah.
to me. So that's absolutely nothing to do with you or your fault in any
Yeah.
way. That's all on me. But
Mm-hmm.
the saving grace was that the next weekend I had another like training weekend for my shamanism. So someone in my group caught it. They were like, something's wrong with you, like something's off with your energy and we're able to get rid of it. So it worked out in that way, but it was a big lesson
Mm-hmm.
for me and maybe I needed to go through it
Thank
anyways
you.
to know like hey you can't just
Mm-hmm.
literally,
Mm-hmm.
especially someone who becomes so open to things like that, it's like can't just do what you want and whatever. So now I would go about it in a slightly different way, but yes, it was a learning experience for me as well, so it's okay. It needed to happen maybe, and you learn from it and you move on.
In in the what? How do I want to say this? The air in my house is much more. It's not down, it's not dark, it's bright. It's like you walk in the house, it's a whole different feeling in the house.
Okay.
And me as and I know this as well, just like you, me as a therapist, I can see it when I see my clients, what their I don't know what it is, their aura or their feeling or their energy, I guess.
Ah,
Yeah, you can do it even with that.
okay.
But yes, thank you very much because it's been great. But that was actually heartwarming to know that my mother-in-law was here.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that when this was her favorite place,
Okay, sure.
she used to love coming here.
Yeah.
Hmm. So that was pretty cool.
Now,
Yeah.
actually, I want to ask you about something. So, since you brought it up, like, because you're a massage therapist, amongst many things, but would you say, like, is there ever a time that you've been doing a massage for someone and you were like, ooh, like, yikes? Or is it more just you kind of can get a sense sometimes?
Oh, yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. Um, I usually can tell as soon as I start talking to them, like what do we need to do in the session, things like that. And
mm-hmm.
I can tell right away.
Sure.
And I will never forget, I won't get into too much specifics, but there was a gentleman that was, we'll just say not very nice. Okay. And I had not, we do what's called, probably like you, it's called grounding, where you protect yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you are hands on with somebody,
Yeah.
you kind of get what's going on. And this guy was not a very nice man and left the session. And by the time I got home, I was pretty sick. Like, sick. So it's in, and I don't think it's just you and I think everybody should kind of protect themselves.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know, I see it more and more, um, that people are, I think, are a little more in tune with other people.
Yes.
So,
What I always kind of say and
yeah.
put out there in a lot of these like episodes where I talk to people, because I have people kind of all over the board doing different things, but it's like most people agree that it's like we are all energy. And the second you like touch somebody or
Yes.
even come into close contact, you are officially merging energies. So if you aren't able to protect yourself in some way, like then you, whether you believe in it or not,
Hmm.
you are open and susceptible to possibly taking on people's energies. Not everyone will that will happen to, but a lot of people more than you would think. So,
True.
yeah, so it is something that I always talk about.
Yeah.
It's like we are all energy and we are all just like bumping into each other, man. You got to be able to, if you can't figure out how to put up those boundaries right away, it's also like okay, to at least have
Yeah.
something, sage, crystal, something that can help you to like whoop, clear it out, clear it out.
If you do, it took me a while to learn how to do it. Now I can ground myself within 30 to 40 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
But I've also been doing this for 15 years.
Sure.
So, but sometimes, I'm running from one place to the other and I'm like, okay, let's do this. And then I'm, oops. The only thing I think that has helped me which is people kind of laugh at me, I do not wear shoes when I massage.
Oh,
I
interesting.
want to be touching the ground.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. And that's one way. Yeah, it's one way. I call it Mother Earth.
Yeah.
So that does seem to help. That does seem to help, but I think everybody needs to be aware.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't, how do I explain this? They'll just walk in a room and start doing stuff. When I walk in a room, when there's a crowded room, I kind of scan it before
Mm-hmm.
because you watch mannerisms and how people are talking. And I kind of avoid that. I
Mm.
go
Sure.
the
Yeah.
opposite way
Yeah.
because you absolutely, I will be honest with everybody that I never believed it until it happened to me.
Okay.
So I do believe you will take on somebody else's energy.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
I call it negativity.
Sure. Yes.
Yeah, you
Yep.
can take on their negativity.
Yes.
Very much so.
Yeah. And especially to those
Hmm.
who are just very open in general to this type of stuff, it's like,
Hmm.
that like I got the attachment and like those things are very real too. And we just all have to be then, but the more aware you are of your own energy, like the more you can be like,
Right.
something's not right, something's off.
Something's
Maybe,
not right. Right.
yeah, maybe I need some help here. So that's always the positive thing is if you become aware, you're also more
Right. Well,
aware of your own stuff.
right. That day that you left, I mean, within an hour, I mean, it was like, how do they say it? The air was lifted or
Okay.
whatever they
Sure.
say, so I'm sorry he attached
Again,
himself to you.
not your fault. And like, one thing I'd like to do more is to help people at their houses and cleanse more people's houses. So that was a learning experience, I'll take it with me. I know a lot more than I did back then in general,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I think it would go a lot
Yeah.
smoother, but yeah, what would you
Be
say.
super grounded when you go in there.
Yes, yep, I'm gonna wear all head to toe crystals, gonna have the sage go no. Um, so what
Yeah.
would you say was just going back to the house for a second, what was maybe the most intense thing that, like, kinda happened, whether it was to you or somebody else or whatever? What would you say?
My God, the most tense thing?
It could be, like, the most intense or the most
My
memorable besides
gosh.
the things you've already shared, like, the thing where you're like, "Oh my gosh, this is, like, insane."
Well, I mean, that probably was the most intense thing because when it was weird. It was like I was half asleep. I had just started to fall asleep. So you're still aware of your surroundings.
Mhm.
And I felt him come through my window.
Oh, interesting.
I felt him come through my window and because I felt a real strong breeze. So I felt that breeze was him coming through the window. And then he came and he was at the bottom of my the foot of my bed.
Sure.
That was the most intense because, until I realized, I mean, I thought it was a human. I thought there was a guy, actual person at
Ooh,
the foot of my bed.
yeah.
And that was very intense. I mean, I don't think I've ever bolted up, sat up that fast in my life. And
Yeah.
literally, when I grabbed the lamp, got knocked over, but I was able to click it, and I'm like, and I thought, oh my God, he went in the closet or whatever.
Sure.
And I thought, no, my door is closed, the closet's closed, this is closed. I sat that night, I slept sitting up
Oh my gosh.
with the light on.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
That's the most, yeah, that's the most intense that I've ever had. I've had a few little weird feelings,
Okay.
um, but nothing that has been substantial or has lasted other than not long ago, we have two black cats,
Mm-hmm.
and my daughter keeps hers locked downstairs with her. She was down there and with the door closed, and I turn and I go, Ebony, what are you doing? And I turn like this, and Ebony was sitting on the table. So what black cat went running past me?
Oh
I
my
have no
gosh.
idea. And that was it. Just one time. That was it.
Oh,
Just one
okay.
time. And I ran to the door and I said, is your cat down there? And she's like, yeah, he's sitting on my lap. And I'm like,
Oh my
so
gosh.
there's been a few since then,
Huh?
but
But nothing lasting, you
yeah,
said?
I,
Okay.
I no, it
Well,
was like a one time.
okay. I was gonna say, if you need me to come back over, just let me know.
No, that actually that was right after you were here the last time.
Okay.
Like not long after that.
Uh,
So it's been a while.
okay. Well, that's
Yeah, we'll
good
we'll
then.
keep it that way.
Yeah, right.
We'll keep it that way.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but I was never, other than that one, I was never afraid.
Okay.
It was like, oh, okay.
Well, and one thing that I
They have to find out where they need to go.
yeah. Well, and that's the thing is, first of all, I just commend you for believing your kids in the first place. Because a lot of people, even these days, if they heard their kids be like, "Oh, there's
Hmm.
a soldier in my class," well, they'd be like, "You're making things up. You're seeing that's not real." And it's like, kids know what's up. You know what I'm saying? So that's always a good thing to believe your
Yeah,
children and like, like you said, like an earthbound spirit, from my knowledge, like usually is not something to be scared of. Like, yes, obviously it could be startling to just see someone in your house, but they're usually looking for help. And it's like if you have that ability,
right,
then you should do it. If you don't know how to
right.
do that, please don't try. Get a hold of me or someone you know can. But yeah,
I was just saying, call Tegan.
yeah.
Call Tegan.
So I don't know, but yeah. So that's very interesting.
No, I've I'd be walking down the street. I've seen that pretty much all my life.
Okay.
I would see things out of the corner of my eye or see a person and they wouldn't be there. And it never startled me. The only one that startled me was the one that you got rid of.
Yeah.
But they say, yeah, sorry. But they say that children, their minds are so open that they do see those
Hmm.
things. It's until they get older and either their parents, don't. I mean, even now, I don't think my kids believe in, even though they've seen them, they don't believe in ghosts.
That
I'm
was
like, y'all
wild.
saw them,
Yeah.
but
I think a lot of that
I think,
too is
yeah, I think as
fear.
they,
A lot of people just same with
yeah,
like, even just I talk about aliens a lot, and, like, I think a lot of people have had experiences to some degree, whether it's seeing a weird thing in the sky or literally having dreams about being abducted, things like that, things that are still kind of taboo to actually acknowledge and talk about still. It's feared, people don't wanna go there, they don't wanna even think about it, which is fine, but it's like,
yeah.
doesn't make it not real, sorry, especially if you carry that trauma, like, ooh.
Well, exactly. I mean, there's so much unexplained in this world,
Yes, yes.
you know.
Sasquatch. So what he's representing today.
I see that. That I would like to see,
Right. Yes.
you know.
I feel
No,
like
really.
I feel like Bigfoot is just like a representative of just like almost like the mystical and the unexplainable, and he's like the face of it all.
Yeah. Well, Loch Ness monster. There's a whole bunch of them. You
Yep.
know, can they ever be proven? I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, people believe in ghosts. People don't. People believe in. You know, there's a lot of people walking on this earth. It's whether you see them or not, or whether you're open minded enough to see them. I think that's a big thing. You have to be open minded
Oh yeah.
and not be afraid. And
Mhm.
I've had friends say, "Oh no, no, that would scare me."
Yep.
Well, what are they going to do?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm like, go, yeah,
Yeah.
no,
But, that's
but
I feel like though in general the world's starting to slowly like accept these things more, and that's okay. It takes time and people can do what they want. They have free will. But I do
exactly,
want to touch on one thing
exactly.
here. So you also do art, and I have a couple that are literally in my house.
Hmm.
I'll probably put pictures up for a few seconds if I'm able to. I'll have to try and figure that out. But I just wanted you to share just a little bit about like what made you want to start making this art.
Honestly, I was bored over COVID. And I started it with that, and I started watching videos, and it was a very short amount of time. And I fell in, actually, I could see the painting right behind you. Um,
Yeah.
I- yeah, I fell in love with it, and it was peaceful for me. I've always done different arts. I do stained glass. I do woodworking. I do, a couple different things, but that was a little more creative.
Okay.
And I would turn music in,
Mhm.
and depending on the music, depended, believe it or not, the color I would use or the way I would do the painting. It was either I'd put the painting down and I'd spin it and see where it ended up, or I'd use bubble wrap, or I'd use a balloon, or a wet paper towel. I mean, it just a hair dryer.
Very
It just
cool.
depended on what I felt like.
Hey, yeah,
And it
and
was
that's
by the music I was listening to.
that's really cool, and that's just,
Hmm.
like, tapping into, like, a whole different creative side, and I feel like
Yeah.
I still struggle with that aspect of things too, not that I have to paint things, but, like, my creativity is just, like,
Hmm.
slowly cracking open, and it's like, "Woof," like, that's just hard for me, and for some people like you, it seems so just kind of, like, natural, like a natural part of yourself.
Yeah, but see, I couldn't do, everybody does their own. I mean, you're amazing at what you do, but that's your gift. I think every human has a gift. It's just trying to figure it out. Do I think I'm gifted in that? No, but it sure is a whole lot of fun.
When that's half
It
the
is.
battle.
And I got into it, and it was really funny because I got into this one, and I have a small tiny studio downstairs, it actually in my laundry room. And I was just had the hair dryer, and I looked up and I went, "Oh, my refrigerator was
Oh,
covered in paint." But when I used the hair dryer, it
okay.
blew the paint across the room, and there was like on the fridge, on the floor.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
oh,
That's funny.
and it's still there today. It's still there.
Well, one
But
thing I wanted to mention too was
yeah.
that, like, when I looked at some of yours, and I have 2 of them, there's some in the space right now, but there's also 2, like, in my house, and a lot of them, it looked
Hmm.
like there were, like, animals in there, so I think too, at least for some of them, you're
Yeah.
channeling either guides or totem animals. Because the one that I have, hopefully I can get a little picture up here later in editing,
Some
but, like,
fun.
it looks like a hummingbird, which I saw one today too, this morning. The first time I've ever seen a hummingbird this
Did
entire
you?
summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh my gosh," but yeah, I also have wings in my room. I have a whole wing wall, and there your painting's right there,
Yeah.
and so I just think it's awesome.
My angel wing that I gave you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun. You did one, and then you took the other painting and you put it on top and you rub it. And when
Oh,
you
okay.
undo it, it looks like an angel wing.
Ah.
But one of the first ones I did, I think I was talking to my husband, and I said, I really want to go back. Oh, that was before that was the first time I ever went camping to Yogi Bear Park.
Okay.
And I was telling him, I want to go back to Yogi Bear,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, I really want to go. I really want to go as I'm painting. And I just took the hair dryer and I just swished it like this. And I just looked down and I go, you've got to be kidding me. There is a full face of a bear and a woman standing behind it. And I still have it. I won't sell it.
Oh my
And
God.
then we were going somewhere else, and I said we should go fishing, and I did it again, and there was a fish on one, there's a shark on another, and it actually has eyes on it.
Oh my God.
And that kind of freaked me out a little bit, and I thought that was really cool,
That is
but then when I tried to do it, it didn't do it.
of course.
I'm like, okay, let's do a rabbit. No, it just looked like a blob. But yeah, those are mine. I have one with a shark, one with a fish, one with the bear, Yogi Bear.
Hmm.
And there was something, a dragon. I think there was one with a
Oh,
dragon.
that's cool.
And I think you have one of them. Do you have one of them?
I'm trying
You
to
thought
think.
you said it was a hummingbird?
Oh yes, the hummingbird one. It's a little guy too. It's just one of the tiny like ones. But
Yeah,
if I can get pictures up here, I
the
want
little
to
ones,
show
yeah.
it because yeah, and well, and hummingbird is one of the like totem animals of shamanism. So when you showed me that, I was like,
Really?
oh, yeah, I'm like I have to have that.
There you go.
Huh? So we're
Yeah, my sister was looking at one. She said it's a perfect color for my house. And then she goes, wait a minute, that's a dragon. I go, where's the dragon? And I didn't realize it. And she's like, oh no, I don't want this one.
I'll take it. Oh my gosh, dragons are awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
You start a whole
So it's
fantasy
it's cool,
line.
and there's a whole what?
You can start like a whole fantasy line, like this is the one with the dragon. This is the one, just whatever.
Well, and the thing is too that I like doing it is you never ever will have the same exact painting. You may have the same exact colors, but you will never have the same. Even when I took the ones that you have, that I did the one, and then I said you put it on top,
Mhm.
and then you rub the back so it's like this, and then when you open up, it's angel wings. If you look at that, even the angel wings aren't exact.
Sure. Yeah.
This may have a few little colors here, but it won't be on this one, even though you've pressed it exactly. So that's the fun thing about art.
Yes, that's awesome, and I love the ones
Yeah,
I
you got to
have.
try it.
I know. I really do need to like expand my horizons in that way, even if nothing comes of it. Cause like I write a little bit. Like I've started writing a lot of books. Started, haven't finished any of
Oh,
them.
good.
So that's kind of been my way of opening up a little bit. But I do like trying new things. So at some point, I'll definitely have to give it a whirl and see what happens.
Try it. Try it. I mean, you can always come over, or your sister. I mean, she's always doing paintings with the boys, but mine's a little different,
Yeah.
but I still have my studio downstairs. Actually, I'm going to be going back. I started uh, rearranging everything because I found this new way of doing art, and it's like an explosion kind of thing. You put a canvas on top of a canvas, but you slice the front of the canvas and you flip it over. It's hard to describe.
Okay.
You flip it over and you can see what's underneath, and that's
Oh,
the painting. So
interesting.
it's
Okay.
it's different,
Yeah.
but yeah, I have a lot of them. I really need to start doing something with them. They're already behind you, where they're all boxed with the corners and
Yeah.
ready to go.
Okay.
I haven't done anything. So.
Well, hopefully I can get some pictures up and then, if anybody's listening and is interested, we can always let you know when Joyce is ready to show the world her gift and we can keep everyone posted.
Thanks.
Of course. And thank
Thank
you for taking the
you.
time to come on here and talk about everything.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure.
Well, we will talk again soon,
All
okay?
right, my dear.
Thank you so much.
Take care, Tegan.
Bye.
Bye.